Din il-ġimgħa nagħtu ħarsa lejn il-każ u l-kundanna ta' Ghislaine Maxwell li qajmu tant mistoqsijiet u madankollu l-akbar mistoqsija hija għaliex waslet biex tagħmel dawn ir-rejati. Tiġranet ilu Ghislaine Maxwell insabet ħatja ta' traffikar ta' tfajli ta' adolescenti għas-sess biex tissodisfa s-sieħeb tagħha Jeffrey Epstein u ċ-ċirku tagħhom ta' ħbieb u kollegi famużi u privileġġjati. Ftit minn dawn il-vittmi kellhom 14 sena biss. F'xi każi Ghislaine Maxwell ipparteċipat f'abbuż hija stess. L-abbuż beda fis-sena 1994. Xi wħud minn dawn il-vittmi xedu li Ghislaine Maxwell kienet preżenti meta Jeffrey Epstein abbużhom u stuprom. Nagħtu ħarsa issa x'qalu ftit mill-vittmi tagħhom.
She manipulated the situation, or they manipulated the situation in a way where she made you feel like she was like a family member in a way. For me, what I would love to see her take some responsibility and just own up to what she's done.
She did it to keep Jeffrey happy, for sure. She did it because she loves the control over people. Jeffrey was a sick pedophile, but she was the mastermind. It would have been great to look at him in court and say, you know, you hurt me. You took away my innocence, you took away my youth, but he took that away from us too.
There is not a day that goes by that I don't think about the other girls. She was just very closed off, like holding herself like this and walking out of the room with her head down. And I know that look. It was probably one of the only images besides the actual abuse that I have flashbacks.
One day I said to Jeffrey, what goes on in this house? Like, why are you always upstairs? And he said, I'll show you. And so he took me up there in the elevator and he showed me all of Ghislaine's quarters, and there was a marble like altar thing over here. And he said, that's where he gets his massages. I looked on the cameras and I saw toilet, toilet, bed, bed, toilet, bed. I'm like, I am never gonna use the restroom here, and I'm never gonna sleep here. Oh yeah, it was all video, all the time, yeah. And I asked him one time, what do you do with this? And he said, I keep it. I keep everything in my safe.
She was in the bar and she wanted me to meet someone. And I went in to the bar and met her boss/boyfriend, who was Epstein. That evening was the first time they assaulted me. I can say for myself, I feel like in some ways I've been in jail for the past 2.5 decades. And I'm ready to be out. And maybe it's her time to be in.
Kull tfajla ingħatat bonus biex tirrikrutja tfajli oħra. Ir-rejati saru ġoddar ta' Jeffrey Epstein ġo Florida, New York u l-Messiku.
Mr. Epstein, how long have you been sexually attracted to underage minor females?
Objection, harassing, argumentative.
Are you kidding? I mean, I don't feel like I'm divulging any secrets here, right?
Move to strike.
Ħafna nies illum mill-ogħla livelli tad-dinja tal-finanzi u tan-negozju jibżgħu li Ghislaine se tiżvela isimhom li pparteċipaw f'dan l-abbuż sabiex tnaqqas is-sentenza tagħha. Il-familja Maxwell qed issostni li Ghislaine ma ingħatax proċess legali ġust u li hija qed tiġi akkużata għad-delitti ta' sieħba Jeff Epstein li issa huwa mejjed.
Isn't it true that you and Ghislaine Maxwell celebrated her 16th birthday with her and had sex with her on that day?
Form, compound, confusing, argumentative, and harassing.
Wieħed mill-akkużati allegati huwa il-Prinċep Andrew tar-Renju Unit li diġà ġie intervistat mill-BBC riċentament dwar ir-relazzjoni tiegħu kemm ma' Ghislaine Maxwell kif ukoll ma' sieħeb tagħha Jeff Epstein.
There are a number of things that are wrong with that story. One of which is that I don't know where the bar is in Tramps. I don't drink. I don't think I've ever bought a drink in Tramp whenever I was there.
Do you remember dancing at Tramp?
No, that couldn't have happened because the date that is being suggested, I was at home with the children.
Do you recall any kind of sexual contact with Virginia Roberts then
None,
or any other time?
None whatsoever.
Because in a legal deposition, 2015, she said she had sex with you 3 times. Once in a London house when she was trafficked to you in Maxwell's house.
Yes.
Once in New York a month or so later at Epstein's mansion, and once on his private island in a group of 7 or 8 other girls.
No.
Abuse victims often make poor witnesses. That's an argument that's been put to me, I don't know. My judgment about what she says about Prince Andrew and her, I think well, Prince Andrew can't explain the photograph. Virginia Roberts can. I think Virginia Roberts is telling the truth, but for whatever reason, the feds aren't going there.
Ftit aktar tarif dwar Ghislaine Maxwell. Hija bint il-pubblikatur Robert Maxwell li oriġinarjament wasal ir-Renju Unit miċ-Ċekoslovakkja. Għalkemm trabba fil-faqar bena imperu kbir li kien jinkludi il-gazzetta Ingliża Daily Mirror u l-pubblikaturi Macmillan fost oħrajn. Serva wkoll bħala membru parlamentari sas-sena 1970. Kien ukoll iddikjarat bħala wieħed mill-aktar bnedmin sinjuri fid-dinja. Robert Maxwell kien ħafna drabi imdawwar bil-kontroversja. F'Novembru tas-sena 1991, Robert Maxwell ma marx għall-laqgħa mal-Bank of England biex jiddiskuti problemi ta' 50 miljun lira li kien issellef mill-banek. Minflok ivvjaġġa bil-jott tiegħu lejn Spanja u ġie irrappurtat nieqes. Il-katavru tiegħu insab fil-baħar u l-inkjesta żvelat li miet għax wara attakk ta' qalb. Għatem min jemmen li seta' kien suwiċidju. Wara mewtu ġew żvelati nuqqasijiet ta' fondi kbar fil-finanzi tal-kumpaniji tiegħu. Il-mewt ta' Maxwell anqlet il-kolass tal-imperu li bena mix-xejn. U lidu pruvaw jżommu n-negozju fl-imkien, iżda fallew hekk kif ħarġet l-aħbar li Maxwell kien seraq mijiet ta' miljuni ta' liri mill-fondi tal-pensjonijiet tal-impjegati tiegħu stess.
Well, there's more than one monster. The second monster is her father, who was a grossly abusive man who, according to his own wife, Betty Maxwell, who loved him for 40 years more, said he took sadistic pleasure in humiliating the people closest to him, his family.
Illum nies li kienu jassoċjaw ma' Jeff Epstein u Ghislaine Maxwell jiżommu ruhom lura mis-sitwazzjoni. Hemm min jirrakkonta l-esperjenzi strambi tagħhom meta żaru id-djar tal-koppja, iżda in-nies li kellmuna ma rridu jagħmlu l-ebda kumment pubbliku għal raġunijiet ovvji.
Mr. Epstein, were you sexually abused as a minor?
Again?
Were you sexually abused as a minor?
You know, I'd like to respond to all your, if any, questions seem to be relevant, but I would like to respond to any relevant question at this time. However, my attorneys have counseled me that I cannot provide answers to the questions relevant to this lawsuit today. I must accept their advice or risk losing my Sixth Amendment right to effective representation. Accordingly, then, I assert my Fifth, Sixth, and 14th Amendment right to the United States Constitution.
Fost il-viżitaturi ta' Epstein hemm l-elit u n-nies famużi. Min barra l-Prinċep Andrew, ismijiet oħra li qed jisemmew jinkludu l-ex-presidenti Trump u Clinton u Bill Gates. Jumejn qabel temm ħajtu, Epstein biddel it-testament tiegħu u b'riżultat li se jkun aktar diffiċli għal vittmi tiegħu biex jifittxu għal kumpens u danni. Il-patrimonju tiegħu huwa stmat għal kważi $600 miljun. Dan ma jinkludix il-kollezzjoni vasta tal-arti tiegħu. Il-każ ta' Ghislaine Maxwell huwa stramp u baqa' ħafna mistoqsijiet diffiċli dwar kif se jispiċċa dan il-każ. Ghislaine Maxwell tista' tkun vittma kif ukoll l-aggressur? Jekk għandkom xi kummenti ibatuhom permezz tal-WhatsApp.